Please be sure to subscribe to the channel to update the fastest and most accurate news.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my Journalism of the Heart News channel. The story for today is this year 8 teams are battling for the title of LEGO Master for 2022. Throughout Season 4 their creativity, technical ability and overall skills are being tested in incredible challenges. Stream every episode of LEGO Masters for free on 9 now. From day one the teams have impressed and delivered above and beyond Hamish, Blake and Brickman's expectations. But some builds manage to stand out above the rest, bringing real wow factor and incredible details. See all of the winning builds from every challenge in 2022 below. In the window to the future challenge, teams had 12 hours to create anything they wanted. Of course the challenge had a few rules. The team's builds had to be futuristic and had to be viewed by looking through a window frame. Brothers Joss and Henry built an advertisement for a futuristic glove, the Ultra Glove 2099. Brickman admitted that he was skeptical of their idea, but in the end he was blown away by their use of color, font and imagination. The Ultra Glove 2099 included every kind of function you could think of: a Lego brick separator, scissors, a bottle opener, a screwdriver and digital time. It's ridiculous enough with all of these gizmos and gadgets, Brickman said. It looks totally and utterly impractical and that's what sells it, he added. Brickman loved their quirky concept and applauded them for their execution. Henry and Joss were crowned the winners of the challenge and the titanium brick, which will keep them safe from the next elimination and send them straight to finals week. There was a two-part challenge in episode 10. Part 1, Kirsty and Daniel took out the high wire challenge with their slope cable car. In this challenge, teams had 6 hours to build something that could travel across 10 meters of wire without any piece falling to the ground. Kirsty and Daniel built a conventional cable car but added character and humor by including sloths inside the cable car. Despite its simple design and very slow pace, Kirsty and Daniel's sloth cable car was the only build that made it the full 10 meters across the wire. The impressive feat made them automatic winners of the challenge, and they also got an advantage for the second part of the challenge. Part 2, the Secret City Challenge, required teams to build the other half of a city block in just 10 hours. The other half had to tell the story of the city's terrible secret. Alex and Caleb won the challenge, and the titanium brick of triumph with their evil coffee corp build. Our story is there's a popular coffee shop in Lego City, Caleb explained. But the secret to our build is that the coffee is actually toxic. Brickman applauded the team for their continuity. There's one link or theme that's joining all of this together. All the coffee cups are red, Brickman noted. Alex and Caleb's build featured a rotating coffee cup, and in this build they were the only team to include a power function. This inclusion, along with their great storytelling abilities, got them over the line. I think this is your best build yet, Brickman said. In the Blown Away challenge, the teams needed to build a Lego creation that would come to life when powered by wind. To test this out, an industrial-size fan was brought into the studio. In a shocking first for LEGO Masters history, a was tie win. Nick and Jean and Joss and Henry both won the titanium brick. Nick and Jean created a headbanging rocker. They took a risk and aimed for two movements, a strum and headbang, which delivered impressive results. While Joss and Henry created a moving caterpillar, with a windmill built at the front to capture the wind from the fan. When it came to choosing a winner, Hamish and Brickman couldn't decide. You guys have both won the titanium brick. It's a half brick. It is the first ever draw in LEGO Masters history. He, Brickman, could not split you. Hamish said the win meant that both teams will be safe if the next build is an elimination. In the Spooktacular challenge, the teams were assigned a minifig that they had to draw inspiration from to create a very spooky build. Joss and Henry, who were holding onto the titanium brick, got to assign the minifigs to the teams. They chose the Spider Witch minifig for themselves. With 10 hours to complete their build, Joss and Henry chose a spider house, with a witch's grand home sitting on top of giant spider legs. Henry and Joss explained that the house had wandered into suburbia to eat Hamish's house. After they found out that Hamish was terrified of spiders, the team included that in their build. In the house there's a little minifig freaking out as his house comes under attack, representing Hamish. In the end their build was so impressive that it landed the team the win, which also meant they got to hold on to the titanium brick. "It's a beautiful build," Brickman said. "I think it's your best one build yet. Outstanding guys, really unique build, we haven't seen anything like that before," Hamish added. There was a two-part challenge in Episode 7. Part 1, Nick and Jean took out their 6th win in a row in the Dragon Race Challenge. In this challenge, teams had just 3 hours to build a dragon that would sit on a small drone. Afterwards teams took a trip to the Sydney Cricket Ground where they had to fly their dragons through a series of 4 posts in a time trial race. The fastest team was awarded a bonus point. Nick and Jean created a skeleton dragon and hoped by only needing to use bones, it would keep their dragon light. Piloted by Jean, the team whizzed their dragon through the course in just 41 seconds, the fastest out of any team. They won the bonus point for the fastest time and ultimately the challenge. Part 2. In the Grandscapes Challenge teams had 10 hours to build a huge landscape. Joss and Henry chose to build a secluded waterfall, and Brickman was really impressed with their build and the simple, effective story behind it. Thinking about LEGO elements and how they're used very specifically. "It's about being smarter with how hard you work," he said before announcing Joss and Henry were the winners. Proving they really are the team to beat, Nick and Jean took out their 5th win in a row in the A-Bridge Too Far Challenge. In this challenge the teams had 7 hours to create a bridge that would span across 2 large platforms. At the end of the build, each team was tested on how well it could withstand shaking, going from level 1 to level 12 on what Hamish called the shake factor. Nick and Jean built a bridge which they called the Heavy Boy, and while it was by far the worst looking bridge, they had tactfully built heavy bridge columns and a very thick Lego bridge reinforced by Technic. "Hopefully that weight of the Heavy Boy can really fight against the machine," Nick said. As the shaking ramped up the bridge really held on, although the bridge disconnected from the columns, the weight meant that even at level 12 the bridge didn't snap or fall off of the columns. "It's like surfing, it's floating," Brickman marveled. "It's just not going anywhere," Hamish said. "We're in a state of belief that our stupid ugly bridge beat the machine," Nick said. Their build was the only one to last up to level 12 and secured them another win. The win means they'll also go into the next challenge with the titanium brick up their sleeves. For the Cutaway Challenge in Episode 5, teams needed to create a build that showed both the inside and outside. It also had to be to minifig scale. Read more. Hamish Blake tells cameraman to take a hike after mystery power comes into play on LEGO Masters. Nick and Jean took out the top prize for a 4th time in a row with their Alpine Cuckoo Clock. Their build nailed the challenge brief. It was intricate, visually stunning and also had all the great storytelling elements that Brickman asked for. They especially impressed Hamish and Brickman with their moving clock, which included a minute and an hour hand that moved at different speeds. There was a 2-part challenge in Episode 4, Part 1. The episode kicked off with the Car of the Future challenge where teams had to create a futuristic car. The LEGO build then had to float on a magnetic plate for judging. Early on they were warned that just one brick in the wrong spot could send their build crashing down. Nick and Jean won the challenge and gained an advantage for Part 2. They got the titanium brick and to chose what object each team would use to build in the second challenge. Part 2. In the Old is New challenge, teams had to transform old pieces of furniture and items with LEGO and bring it back to life. Nick and Jean assigned each team their object and picked a record player for themselves. Despite concerns from Brickman that they didn't use enough LEGO pieces, their technical skills really impressed and they won the challenge. In the Build That Tune challenge the teams were assigned classic hits that they had to transform into LEGO builds. Each team had to turn their tune into a build, which was going to be judged by a special guest, Delta Goodrum. In the end Delta managed to guess 6 of the 8 builds correctly, but thankfully it was not an elimination and no one went home. As for the winners, Nick and Jean got it. Take the quiz. Can you guess the songs featured in the Build That Tune challenge on LEGO Masters? Their Danger Zone build was not only guessed correctly but had a lot of impressive details that Brickman loved. For the Stuntman challenge in Episode 2 the teams had to build a vehicle that could be hydraulically flung through a ring of fire, over 9 yellow school buses and have a spectacular crash upon landing. The teams were judged on their storytelling, their explosion and got a bonus point for going the furthest distance. Rachel and Lexi had a Rocketman minifig as the inspiration for the build and created a rocket ship. Their build not only impressed Brickman and Hamish, but went the furthest too and scored them the win. In the first build of the season, everyone wanted to impress and they were thrown in the deep end, quite literally, with the challenge. In the Drain the Ocean Challenge, teams had 16 hours to create a build which would stay intact while submerged in a pool of water. That is all for today news. Please make sure to leave your comment and subscribe the channel below for more news update.